Okay, Keith, thank you so much for being here. You did a great talk on Bazel.
Thanks.
I wanted to ask you, what is like the transition from going from an iOS development position to working on tooling full time?
Yeah, definitely. So I have a background in, I occasionally worked on CocoaPods a long time ago, and so I feel like I've always kind of leaned towards working on tooling related stuff. So I think that there's only so many companies that can dedicate as much time as we do to working on tools, but I think that's always kind of what I wanted to do. And so it's just kind of, I guess, getting into all of the underlying stuff that goes into actually building an app. So like you have your CI system, like no matter what size company you are, you're already hitting a lot of these things where you're pulling in these other tools like Carthage or CocoaPods, and you have your CI system and whatever, and like you can do a lot there and to improve developer experience, and that especially starts mattering once you get a little bit larger like we are. And so I guess that's kind of the trend of how that works.
Yeah, that's really nice. And you went into great detail in your talk about all the things that you needed to implement in Bazel and that you already support. But how does this continue? What are the next steps in this build transition that you guys did?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of things, maybe not any that are like as big as the initial move, but there's a lot of nice features. One of the ones I talked about in my talk is moving to remote execution, where we can have other machines besides your laptop like compile your code to kind of speed up builds, especially as we continue to grow. That's a big one that we're really interested in like doing this next year. But also there's kind of a lot of other small stuff we can do to like incrementally improve the developer experience with Bazel that like hasn't been done because it's still kind of in its infancy for iOS teams. So we're hoping we can kind of like implement some of these features that speed up build times or whatever that are just kind of like low-hanging fruit that no one's gotten to yet.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.